Chief Business Officer at LS Cancer Diagnostics. Welcome, Philippe.
Hi, Logan.
Good to have you. Excited to learn more about what you're doing. You're from Finland. This is a Finnish company?
Yes.
Oh, grab the mic.
Yes, so the company is Finnish. I myself am from Switzerland.
Okay.
But we're based in Finland, and our founder, she's a professor of genetics in the University of Helsinki.
Okay.
And she has been researching Lynch syndrome and all the associated mechanisms and genes for more than 20 years.
Okay.
So yeah, we're excited to be part of StartUp Health, and
For a viewer right now who has no idea what LS Cancer Diagnostics does,
Yeah.
break it down for us.
yeah, so we have developed a test to detect Lynch syndrome. And Lynch syndrome is actually the most common hereditary cancer predisposition, but it's very unknown of. So the awareness is really low.
Okay.
So we're trying to improve that, and also letting people know that we have a test to detect that.
Okay.
Because people who are so-called Lynch syndrome carriers, they have a very high risk of developing cancer, in particular colon cancer. In the case of women, also endometrial cancer. And if we can find them and then we can direct them in treatments and in surveillance and make sure that the cancer gets detected as early as possible, because we all know that the earlier you find it, the better the prognosis is. So
It sounds like there's two big challenges. I mean, you have the test side, of course, improving on the technology, but then awareness seems like it would be a big issue. Getting people to take the tests, getting people to understand if they have Lynch syndrome, right?
yeah.
Is that a challenge?
Yeah, it is a challenge, because it's estimated about 1 in 300 people have
Really?
Lynch syndrome, so it's
Lynch syndrome.
Yeah, so it's actually quite prevalent, but only about 5% are diagnosed. So,
Wow.
and compared, for example, to hereditary breast cancer, which is quite well known.
Yeah.
In Lynch syndrome, the awareness is way lower, although it's more common. So this is one challenge that we face, and actually, the U.S. We're based in Europe, so we tackled that there, but we're also interested to getting into the U.S. because the U.S. has quite a lot of advocacy happening right now in that space, which is also happening in Europe. But we're trying to get in where people are talking about Lynch syndrome, because that's at the end where we want to help.
How does it help LS Cancer Diagnostics to have sort of the global perspective that you have? You're from Switzerland, Finland, here you are in the United States, sort of seeing how the different systems operate. Why is that important, if it is?
Yeah, well, for us, there's many things which are important about that. So, it's the global reach that also. So Lynch syndrome is globally present. So it doesn't really matter where you live. The prevalence is the same. And for us, of course, we also would like that test eventually to be reimbursed or paid by the state or government or the insurance or whatever. So it's important for us to understand the different systems.
Yeah.
In Finland, it's relatively easy because it's a welfare state. Everything is paid by the state.
Yeah.
In Switzerland, it's a bit different. There you have insurances, and then you have to fulfill certain criteria that it gets reimbursed. And then here, of course, it's a completely different beast again.
Yeah.
So this is something which we're trying to kind of tackle from multiple sides, because it's just I think everyone in healthcare has similar challenges when it comes to understanding the systems in the different places.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It sounds both challenging and also very fulfilling as you bring this stuff to light.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's all about helping these physicians who have these families, treating these families, and also the families themselves who have a cancer history and who would like to know, is it because of Lynch syndrome or is it something else? So there's a lot we can do, and a lot of cost and pain, and that we can save people, because if they know they have this, of course it's a burden to know you have something like this in the family, but you can do something about it.
Sure.
So we want to empower these people to be able to take steps to ensure that they will at least not die from cancer, and in the best case also be able to have a higher quality of life rather than having to go through serious treatments, which will of course impact their lives.
Awesome. Oh, we're out of time, but in one statement, what are you most excited about for 2020? What are you looking forward to?
Well, 2020 is going to be a great year. We are launching a pilot across Europe, so we have several hospitals lined up which will send us samples from patients so we can start showing the value we bring. That's definitely one of the highlights we're going to have this year. And I'm here in the US, and after StartUp Health Festival, I'll go on a small, not that small, roadshow across the US to meet key opinion leaders, hospitals, patient advocates, and try to get things started here.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming down to the StartUp Health Studio.
Thank you for having me.
Wish you
Logan.
the best of luck in 2020. All right, take care.
Right.